Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
The Ramble with Alex Bennett. Tonight at 10:30 Eastern on GabNet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the history of talk radio. Political opinions have been a staple of radio since the early 1920s. Talk radio as a listener participation format has existed since at least the mid-1940s. WMCA New York's Barry Gray was bored with playing music and put a telephone receiver up to his microphone to talk with band leader Woody Herman. This was soon followed by listener call-ins. In 1948, disc jockey Alan Courtney began a call-in program on WGBS Miami. The Alan Courtney Open Phone Forum was a conservative and anti-communist political forum with coverage area over the southeast United States and Cuba. In the 50s, Joe Pine, John Neville, and Gene Shepard were among the first to explore the medium. In recent years, talk radio has gained popularity with many new formats flourishing, including all sports in 1986 with the birth of WFAN New York. The subject matter for these formats are different, but the structure has remained the same for all these years. You might say talk radio is a 20th century format. Until now, that is. It's 2014. And radio pioneer and innovator Alex Bennett introduces the Citizen Panel on GabNet, the first revolutionary idea in the format since its inception. The Citizen Panel allows for an open discussion to take place between the host and many listeners all at the same time. Listeners claim that it's addictive, producing stimulating discussions on any topic from politics to movies and entertainment. It's not liberal or conservative. It's open to all opinions and ideas. Log on to gabnet.net to listen and find out how you can participate. Listen to the programs on GabNet and take a step into 21st century talk radio.
Jack Bishop's Intersection. Tonight at midnight Eastern on GabNet.
What happens when you combine the largest broadcaster in America with a puny, insignificant podcaster? You get the huge platform of iHeartRadio and Alex Bennett's Ramble. Yes, now the Ramble is being carried on iHeartRadio as one of thousands of podcasts they make available. Now the big question is, how do we navigate this clutter? The answer is you. Go to iHeartRadio.com, then to their podcast section and search for Alex Bennett's Ramble. Once you've found it, make it a favorite. If enough of you do it, we could make that 15-year-old girl with her makeup tips step aside for the new king of podcasting. Okay, who am I kidding? Yes. She's about 2 million subscribers ahead of us, but it will help to put us on the map. The Ramble and iHeartRadio. Proof that Alex isn't good enough to be on one of their radio stations, but they are desperate enough to feature the Alex Bennett's Ramble podcast. A match made in broadcasting heaven. The Ramble from GabNet. Talk like iHeart and you have never heard before.
Spotify has 180 million monthly users and access to 35 million songs and podcasts. Now, all those offerings are going to have to move over and make room for GabNet programming. Yes, at long last, Alex Bennett's Ramble, Damian Chaplin's Exchange, Jack Bishop's The Intersection, and even the franchise MC's Arena and Michael Snyder's weekly movie reviews will be fighting for space on this massive platform. Each day, the programs are updated, so you can hear them on the Spotify app, available for all smartphones and game consoles. Or you can just go to Spotify on the web at spotify.com. So, give us a shot on Spotify. There's a 35 million to 5 chance we'll get people to listen to talk like they've never heard it before.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this podcast.
Now in our 6th year, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, this is Alex. This is the Ramble, and we go until midnight tonight here on the East Coast of the United States of America. And hello to all of you. Here we are starting another week of this insanity. Why I keep doing it, I have no idea. But I guess it's just so that this guy could have, let's see here, could have a, well, I don't know, someplace to talk, or he'd be out. What do you got your mask on for?
It's good enough for Joe Biden. It's good enough for me.
No, it's not good enough for Joe Biden anymore. He's said you don't have to wear it anymore.
Yeah, but he was on a Zoom call with 16 other dignitaries from around the world, and he wore his mask.
That was last week.
Oh, that was so last week.
Today he gave a speech saying that we feel that if you've been inoculated, you don't have to go get the you don't have to wear a mask. Okay, in certain under most circumstances where you're outdoors and walking around and doing things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is he afraid of the insurrection?
And when he got through talking,
yeah,
he left without his mask on. That was kind of his way of saying, "Come on, gang."
I think he just had a cognitive loss and forgot to put it back on.
When are you going to admit that this guy has been doing more about COVID than your little piece of crap Trump ever did?
You mean the guy that had that Operation Warp Speed and brought
that operation that was called a brain bypass.
Warp Speed.
Oh, Warp Speed, yeah. What happened under Warp Speed?
We got a vaccine in a year.
We were going to get a vaccine anyway because these people were all rushing because they saw the bucks in it.
In 10 years.
Huh?
But let me ask you this.
What do you mean in 10 years?
That's how long it normally takes.
Once we got the vaccine, do you think Trump would have gotten it out there this fast?
Yes.
Oh, really? Oh, come on, Phil. Come on. You're a smart guy.
Yeah. Well, I think that there was a lot of people that wanted to delay it, that wanted it to fail under Trump. They still don't even give him credit for developing.
This is a guy who, for his entire term, kept saying, oh, this is just something that will just go away. Don't worry about it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't give it any cause to bother you. And by the way, I'm not wearing a mask. You don't really need to wear a mask. That killed over 500,000 people.
I'm a little concerned that you're not wearing your mask. You're putting me at risk. Well, how was your week?
Sucked.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm looking for my mask. I can't find it right now. I had a mask around here somewhere.
Your friend Stephen Pearl should have gotten an Oscar for his TV commercial. Did you see it?
Did I see it? Does everybody else want to see it?
Yeah, I want to see it. He was great.
I was going to play this tomorrow night when I'm having him on, but I can actually.
Give us a preview.
Let's play it. Let's play it now.
Imagine this happens to you. You're driving along and someone causes you to be in an accident. Come on, walk and talk with me. Have you had a slip and fall injury, a dog bite?
Ow, I'm not the mailman.
Have a debilitating head or spinal injury? Or God forbid, a family member suffers a wrongful death? And now you're stuck with these injuries and damages, dealing with the insurance agents and the attorneys, getting nowhere?
But sir, the accident wasn't even my fault.
Good luck proving it, sweetheart.
We're paying you nothing, not a bupkis.
You need someone on your side. You need a David to fight your Goliath. All you gotta do is dial. You ready?
Call 830-7070.
Anthony Paglia, injury lawyer.
Uh-oh.
Call 830-7070.
Okay, there it is. I probably
that was great.
I actually didn't put that properly. I didn't put it together properly. I have to do it tomorrow.
Okay.
It was a little off center.
But
there.
you got his award-winning performance. Talking about award-winning,
Yeah.
What did you think of the Oscar ceremony, which I missed?
Yeah. By the way, that picture was off. I didn't frame it right. So I'm sorry, but you got to see it anyway.
Yeah.
I'll play it again tomorrow night.
You're not going to get anything. You're going to get bupkis. I love that. That was fabulous.
Yeah. Let me
He had
see
the
here.
best line.
Why can't I put while you're talking? Yeah. What were you were going to talk about the
Now I didn't watch them. I didn't even know that they had occurred.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess there was it Tyler Perry that was talking about hate, and he mentioned not.
Wait a minute, hold on a second.
Imagine
it's
this
starting
happens to you.
again.
You're driving
Hold on a
along
second.
and someone causes you to be in an
Let's just
accident.
stop
Come
it.
on.
Just stop it. Okay.
Can you, by the way, take his line and loop it so it just keeps coming around? You're not going to get anything. You're going to get bupkis.
You like that? Huh?
That would be a good one.
You like that? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I just wanted to make sure I got it right here. Hold on a second. Let me just do something here. I don't know. I don't have anything better to do than this kind of stuff. Let me see here. And there we go. Okay. All right. Anyway, that's ready for tomorrow night then.
Yeah. So there's two things that supposedly occurred during these things. One is, was it Tyler Perry that was saying he was getting unbelievable applause when he was saying you can't hate, the hate against Asians and blacks and so forth. And then he said hate against the police is bad. And the crowd went silent as if
that was yeah. I thought that his speech was exceptional, and I'm not a big Tyler Perry fan, but his speech was exceptional. It had heart, and it had solid meaning. And he said, "Come meet me in the middle," basically. And it was, I think, it was a great speech. But you're right. When he said police, immediately he had got applause lines for we shouldn't hate blacks, we shouldn't hate gays, blah, 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 applause, and police.
Dead silence.
Dead silence.
Dead silence.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
it was
I thought that was an interesting thing that the media and, those that are making movies and, are having to do just to stay relevant.
Yeah.
They need to kowtow to the woke message.
Well, he doesn't have to kowtow to anybody.
No, that's why he said the police, and you got dead silence.
Yeah.
Now, there was also Rose McGowan. I saw her do an interview on Fox News. Now, she's a lefty.
Yeah.
But she had brought up a few points as well. Did you see any of that, or did you see what caused her to?
No. I all I know is I watched that piece of crap. I was watching. Schwarzenegger was on the Kimmel show, and he said, "So did you watch it?" He said, "For about 20 minutes, and then I realized it really stunk, and I went somewhere else."
Yeah. Well, I understand the viewership was really low.
Oh, it was down from 23 million last year to about 9.1 million this year. So that's about 60% down.
Now, the picture, I guess they got the best picture or whatever, had such a low box office revenue because the theaters weren't open. Do you remember?
Well, to begin with, it was never shown in theaters. It was on Hulu.
Oh, well, why? Oh, so why did it only have like a $6 million revenue stream.
It only had a $6 million revenue stream because it was only shown on Hulu and maybe in a few theaters here and there. Plus, if that picture were just released to the theaters under normal conditions, it wouldn't make money. Okay? It was just not. It was not the kind of picture people want to pay money to go see. I mean, people do not want to go spend money to go see something that makes them feel miserable. You know.
Gabnet.
Here's the big thing. You see, we had Steven Soderbergh was producing this, and he said, "I'm going to make this look like a movie." Right? This is going to be my movie. This Oscars. So to begin with, he cropped the screen so it was wider than usual. Okay? That's for starters.
So you mean like a panorama?
Well, no, what he did is, your screen is wide, but you can crop the top and you can crop the bottom and you can change the ratio to wider. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he cropped the top and he cropped the bottom. All right? Then he ran it in what we call 24p, which is film speed.
Okay.
So that it looked more like film than it did like video. And then he decided, hey, we're going to go for the real drama here tonight, right?
Yeah.
We're going to put Best Picture third from the end. Since when do you do Best Picture third from the end? Since the very beginning of the Oscars, it has always been first, the last thing of the evening, right? Yeah. Best this, best that, Best Picture, right? And then 8,000 people swarm on stage who had to do with the film, and it's a big goodbye from everybody as everybody's cheering because the movie won. Well, Soderbergh decided that, Chadwick Boseman is going to win for Best Actor. Okay? So because he's going to win for Best Actor, let's make that the last thing we do in the evening. And then his wife will get up and give a heartfelt thank you to the audience and so on. And they open up the envelope, and the winner is Anthony Hopkins, who isn't even there. He isn't even there by satellite. They've only got a still picture of him. And that's the end of the show.
Wow.
It just fell flat.
Yeah, I knew that Anthony Hopkins won.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that he wasn't there.
He wasn't there, and they showed a still picture of him. His 8x10. Okay, and he wasn't even there by satellite or whatever. He wasn't there at all. No acceptance speech. So the end of the show falls flat because they don't want to do Best Picture, which will always get you a big finish.
Right.
And that was Steven Soderbergh, ladies and gentlemen. He turned the Oscars into one of his films, boring and overly long. And then the acceptance speeches, they told everybody, go as long as you want to.
Really?
Oh, it was so dull. The whole thing was dull. No clips, no film clips for the most part, except when you got to Best Picture. No film clips. I mean, it was terrible. It was just ghastly.
I understand there was no entertainment either.
No, there was no entertainment. And quite frankly, can I tell you this? Usually the Oscars have a couple of good laughs in the evening, somebody who gets up and says something that's funny. There was no humor. Absolutely no humor. It was humorless.
Didn't they make Kevin Hart step down when he did it? He had some things that he tweeted about years ago, and so if they wanted humor, they would have had him.
Well, no, but they didn't have to do the humor that way. In the following years, they decided, let's not have a host. Let's just have a bunch of people come up and introduce stuff. And they had some well-written stuff, and there was some comedy stuff there too. So other Oscars have always had humor in them. They've had music. They didn't even have that. I mean, it was just the driest. It was horrible. It was just. I bet they never asked Steven Soderbergh to do this again. But in his desire to make it look like a movie, he made the screen wider than it should be, and it did it at 24p. 24p is 24 frames per second, as opposed to 30, which is usually what TV is done with today. Okay.
Yeah.
And
never do video. I never do video. I have a camera that's
Right,
capable
right.
of it, but I've never ever shot anything in video.
Well, I mean, I've shot some video in 24p, and I don't find it makes it look that much like film, you know.
Yeah.
But
did you shoot it in 60 also?
no,
Or
no, the whole
No?
thing was 24p.
either them, but video, is it also shot in 60 as
Is video also shot in 60 sometimes? Yeah, yeah. But 24 frames per second is the rate of film speed, and so they feel that if you shoot in 24p, you're getting that film look.
Yeah.
Okay, but most video is 30 frames per second. You know?
Yeah. Well,
But it was terrible. It was just horrible.
yeah. Well, I thought you'd enjoy that as an opening.
Well, I mean, I wanted to like it. It was so boring, and these speeches were so long. At one point, I said, I gotta go take a crap. So I go to the bathroom, and I come back, and the person who was giving the acceptance speech was just wrapping up.
Wow.
That's how long it was.
You get the downloads for those movies as well?
You didn't
don't
have to this year. They were all on like Hulu and Netflix. You know, Netflix usually say, what studio got the most Oscars this year? You know which studio did?
No.
Netflix.
Wow.
You know, and some of the other nominations were for stuff on Amazon and stuff on Hulu. Hulu, a film on Hulu, won Best Picture.
Wow.
All right, so that's the way it went.
I think things are changing. There's a movie coming out called H or something like that with Jason Statham. Now, I like Jason Statham and I like his movies. I have to, if I want to see it, May 7th, it's coming out in the theaters. So I'm just wondering, are people going to return to the theater for movies?
Why?
Because, well, I'm wondering,
what you're going to have to do, what you're going to, the only kind of films that are going to survive in theaters now are going to be films that are like big, what we call tentpole pictures, and have a lot of crashes and noises, and take full advantage of the wide screen, and maybe they show them in 3D, which you can't get at home, those kind of things. But Nomadland, nah.
Okay. No, I get it.
The art houses are closing. Okay,
Yeah.
That's what's happening. And people are very used to now, after a year, watching and getting their films at home.
Yeah.
So that's going to be probably the new paradigm.
Yeah. Well, my TV is 24 inches square, and I have to turn the selector dial to go between the 13 channels.
Right, and you have a little tuning knob so you can get it in just right. Yeah.
With rabbit ears.
Yeah. But I mean, I just I'll give you an example though. People say, well, they've had a hard time doing award shows this year.
Yeah.
And I said, no, they haven't. SAG, for instance, did an hour. That's all they did. They announced the pictures, they announced the winners, on to the next one, and then they did it all within an hour. And if you want to see how an award show should be done, the Grammys did a beautiful job of it, of making it feel like a big night, and at the same time realizing you had to have that distance and so on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really was, there are people who have done it right.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I think some things are changing in that industry.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're going to have to begin with, the whole nature of the kind of movies that are shown in theaters will all be of one sort. There'll have to be a Marvel film, or there'll have to be a big Disney tentpole picture. The first big film to come out, probably, which has been waiting for about almost 2 years now to come out, is the latest James Bond film, which I think they have slated for November or something like that.
Who is James Bond now? What actor is
still what's his name?
The English guy?
Yeah, but there's always an English guy. Come on. What's his name?
Yeah, I know. I can picture him. He's not real elegant. He's not the.
Yeah, what I was going to say is they say
Patrick something.
How
right?
long? No, it's not Patrick something. When's he going to stop making these Bond films? And I said he probably already has, because he can't do anything about it right now. If you think about it, he has gotten so old waiting for this film to come out. He's going to have to play James Bond in a walker.
Yeah.
Albeit an Aston Martin walker, but a walker nonetheless.
With flamethrowers.
No, but it's so. Anyway, so anything in the news of floating your boat at all?
Yeah, cops. What's happening is there's been a lot of shootings lately, and let's see, I can't get my. I had something queued up on my phone, and now my phone went dead.
Good.
Yeah, David Peel. He's a cop. I like that song.
Well, I've always had a certain dislike for cops.
Yeah,
okay,
I know.
I really have. I think they're finally getting what they're due.
I don't think so.
Well, that's only because you were a cop.
Yeah, that's because I saw it.
This thing that went on down in Elizabeth, North Carolina, I think it is.
Yes. Yeah. They're waiting for the body cam video, and
the guy's name, to begin with, is very funny. The guy's name was Andrew Brown. You know who Andrew Brown was?
The guy that got shot.
No, Amos and Andy. Andy
really?
Brown. Yeah. Anyway.
Keith Fisher.
Andrew Brown. Okay, now maybe this was a drug bust and they were trying to get the guy for drugs. I don't know. That's what they were claiming the thing was about. But if the guy starts driving his way in his car, pursue him. Don't start shooting at the car and shooting him in the back and killing him. All you were going to do was arrest him for something which he'd have to go on trial for, where he could have an attempt to prove his innocence. You've already become the judge, jury, and executioner.
I guess you're going to get, like in Kentucky, that gal that was killed in the shootout that they've had all these protests over. She was sitting on the sofa next to her boyfriend that was a drug dealer, and I think they were trying to serve a warrant. Breonna something?
Taylor.
Taylor.
Breonna Taylor situation, right. Yeah.
So the new attorney general is going to reopen that case. And
as well they should. Breonna Taylor wasn't guilty of anything. Again, I think that really police have to think twice before shooting now. And what's so stupid about these guys down in Elizabeth, North Carolina, is they should have taken a look at what happened up in Minneapolis and gone, we got to cool it. We can't just start firing our guns because we feel, this guy's getting away and we can't let him get away. If you let him get away, don't worry, you're going to be able to catch him later on down the road. Okay?
Oh, yeah. I always felt that was the case. I never ran after anyone. I used to observe, like, the Oakland cops. They were constantly getting ambushed in alleys because they were running after perpetrators. Well, I said, I'm going to be a good witness. I'm going to make sure I can identify this guy, but I'm not running after him. First of all, I'm not fast enough, and I would never be able to jump the fence anymore or do any of those kinds of things.
Listen, I went down to tie a shoelace today, and I couldn't get down there without feeling I was going to pass out. That
happens.
Huh?
That happens.
Yeah, at my age, it's just you don't have the same flexibility you once had. But here's the thing. I think that it's time that the police, because you see, here's what happens. Kind of like Andrew Brown, you can say, okay, maybe he was guilty because he tried to get away. Okay. But no, there's another reason why a black person might try to get away. It's because they're so used to always being considered guilty from the minute they're, approached, that it's a reflex that blacks have when it comes to police.
I don't know. That's kind of
no, it's not kind of. It is.
Yeah,
I mean, you're not black and you don't live in that world. Neither do I. But I do understand it, and I do understand the fear when a policeman knocks on your door and goes, "Andrew Brown, you in there?" You know, police.
If you're totally innocent of anything,
You still
wait a minute, and you're driving down the street and there's a cop behind you. Do you get nervous?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, is he going to pull me over? Yeah, I was doing 5 miles over the speed limit.
Was I doing anything? Is the question. You know.
Even if you weren't, maybe you thought you did at one time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to think that something's going to happen. Hey, do you think David Peel's stuff is copyrighted?
Who's David? I mean, David Peel on the Lower East Side? Yes, of course it is. Yes, it is. Why?
Oh, because I had it right here, and I was just going to play a couple of verses, but here comes a cop all dressed in blue. He's after me. He's after you. He's got a gun. He's got a knife. You better run for your life.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well,
but that was 1968.
Yeah, that's 1968. Absolutely. And David Peel, who was maybe one of the worst musicians of all time.
Well, and his friends that would gather in the East Village.
Yeah. I knew David. He was cool. I liked David.
Yeah.
But, when it came to talent,
he was right up there with the Fugs.
The Fugs were great, and they were great by virtue of the fact they were all poets.
Yeah.
And basically, it was a form of poetry they were doing, but they were good. Thule Kupferberg and Ed Sanders, and I can't remember who the other guy was. But in fact, Thule Kupferberg, I always enjoyed Thule because he was the only guy I ever knew who jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge to commit suicide, hit the water, didn't break a bone in his body.
Wow.
So I said, "What did you do?" He said, "I swam to shore and went home."
Well, when you jump from that high of a distance, the water is like cement.
Well, he somehow survived it and just, swam to shore and went home.
Wow.
So, anyway, well, I have another hour to do here.
Yeah. Hey, I got a fan.
I'm so exhausted. What?
Can you hear that fan in the background?
Oh, that's a Dyson.
Yeah. It's comfortable. I mean, it's on its maximum amount, and it. Can you hear it?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
Good. I can, and not in my earphone.
But can you hear my air purifier?
No.
See, so we're even.
Yeah. Okay.
We're even. Well, listen, I guess I got to go to these other people and talk to them.
All right. Let them enjoy themselves, and you too.
But thank you so much for joining me again tonight.
Oh, it's always my pleasure.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Meyer. We'll see you next week, Phil.
Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Gonna get bupkis.
Okay, you're gonna get bupkis. That's right. You're gonna get bupkis. Yeah. Let me see here. I gotta just get rid of his Phil Meyer. There we go. Get rid of that. There we go. They were fine. Okay, well, let me just bring these people in now. There are only a couple of them. If we don't get a lot, I'm going to sign off early and go to sleep, But here comes Charlie Wallace, and here comes Brian Neary, and there's Alan, and let me see here. Here comes Jeffrey Stein, and Richard Jukin. Who is Richard Jukin? Richard? Oh.
Hi.
Oh, you're the guy from Norway or wherever.
Yes.
You're too loud now. You're too loud.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Sorry.
You're always a technical. You're always a technical nightmare.
How's that?
No, it's still too loud.
Now?
No.
Okay.
Well.
Just speak softly.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Are you there?
No. I want to say something to Alex.
Well, you're too loud and it's annoying and I can't stand it. Okay.
I'm sorry.
So I'm going to say goodbye to you. Okay.
All
right.
Okay.
Okay. Because his problem is that let's see here. Remove. Okay, and I don't want to remove. There we go. There we go.
What do you want to say? Oh,
huh?
I'm kidding. I'd say, what do you want to say right before he leaves?
No, he's a pain in the ass. Yeah.
He looks like it.
Yeah.
John Redshaw beat me to it, but there's a difference between when Phil gets pulled over and when Charlie gets pulled over.
Yes.
They're both nervous, but he's nervous that he was speeding 5 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Yeah.
Charlie made you nervous.
Yeah.
Different
Yeah.
level.
Well, I it's hard to get Phil to understand a simple fact like that. That, they say, well, this guy ran because he must have been guilty. Well, no, he probably ran because he's black. Am I right about that, Charlie?
Yeah.
It's another, but it's another sad situation, and maybe you can explain it, Alan, on why the cops. I guess they just don't like somebody not paying attention to them. They feel insulted by it, they respond to the insult with a murder. It's interesting, So
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What do you mean you have no idea what I'm talking about?
Explain it. Explain what you want. You asked me a question.
Well, no. I was talking about Phil, about my discussion with Phil about why some black people like Andrew Brown Jr. Suddenly get in their car and take off, when the cops come. And the reason isn't necessarily because they're guilty, because in the case of black people, it's a learned response. Am I right, Charlie?
Well, we see a lot of people who were innocent but ended up dead anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this guy didn't. He didn't have a trial. He didn't. These people were acting as judge, jury, and executioner.
So, where you said maybe the cop, when you were talking to Phil, the cop could maybe take a step back and let the guy flee.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait a minute. I haven't put you guys on screen. What am I doing? See, I'm so out of it here.
Somebody's texting me telling me that they're not on camera.
Yeah, well, now they're on camera. Are you happy now? Okay.
So
quality control.
I'll give you the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
You stop somebody and they flee. You gotta wonder why they're fleeing.
Yeah, but
are they fleeing because they're black? I doubt it. Are they fleeing because they're wanted by the police? Probably. And are they fleeing because they're wanted by the police for some real serious crime? They're probably not fleeing from the police because they forgot to pay a parking ticket or a traffic ticket or something like that. They have a small warrant for their arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's happened. But so it's kind of the police's job to chase them down. I mean, that's the idea is to arrest them and let them get before a judge, and the judge makes it.
Yeah, but I mean, look, in all your training, we're talking about South Carolina here. We're not talking about where was your police department? It was in
Fremont, California.
Fremont, California. We're not talking about Fremont, California. We're talking about South Carolina. In Fremont, California, if the guy started trying to get away, you might chase him or whatever, but you're not going to go shooting at his car and try and kill him.
No.
And that's the difference.
Yes. So that's a good reason for me not to go to North Carolina.
Yeah, right. Because you're black. Yeah.
No, I've seen it firsthand. I totally get that black people are unfairly subjective to unfairness by the police.
Right. Anyway, hello, Kathleen. How are you this evening?
She's awfully
I'm good. How are you?
I bet if you raised those blinds, we'd see the ocean out there, right?
Yeah.
But then we wouldn't see how pretty she is.
No, I know. But look at this for a second. Look at that. Look at that. Huh? There you go.
I like how that wave is stuck there. That's a green screen.
Yeah, that's a green screen. Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah. You.
Did you know a cop named John Rossetti?
Absolutely.
I know his son Elliot.
Oh, I didn't know his son. I didn't know he had any sons. John was a big guy and a real go-getter. And he was a big white guy. And if anybody smarted off to him, they got an ass kicking. Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we worked together. I knew him. That's funny. Small world.
Anyway, hello to John Larkin as well. He's here this evening.
Hey.
Yeah, I screwed up at the beginning of the show, folks. I'm sorry. It's one of the reasons I'm thinking about bringing this whole...
By letting Phil in?
This whole process to... Bringing this whole process to an end is because I keep fucking up too much lately.
Oh, you're doing fine.
You know? I mean, I should have had everybody's picture up here, but I'm out of it today. I'm tired again.
If you stop doing the show, I'm just gonna watch a rerun and pretend like I'm in here for an hour away from.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't say anything, please. No, I had some sad news. Sad news this morning.
What's that?
So, yeah, I used to run all the manufacturing for like 16 years, and two of my swing shift people left work, and I go down Lawrence Expressway, and the cops were chasing somebody, and they went through a red light. And they hit my two coworkers and they killed them.
What?
Oh, no.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, this is in Sunnyvale. So they had on the news, and then they had on the news an update today. But total senseless, being chased by the police, and they went right through the red light and they hit them and killed both of them.
That's horrible. That's just
so
horrible.
the people that were being chased by police hit the car that your coworkers were in.
Exactly. They ran a red light and hit my coworkers that were driving them.
Well, the police didn't run the light.
No, the car that they were chasing ran the red light and hit my coworkers.
Why were they chasing the car? Do you know?
No idea. They're, and of course, that person has injuries in the hospital and they're arrested. All.
But it's unfortunate that they kill people. That happens.
Well, are they going to be charged with something here?
Sure.
Charged with the actual accident as well?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a felony to evade the police, to run from the police in this state.
These people,
at the bare minimum, that.
Yeah.
And
These
if they
people
took lives, they might be charged with manslaughter.
They're both under 30 years old.
They'll be charged with manslaughter too. So. At a bare minimum. So.
That's terrible. Are they married? Do they have kids or?
Nope. Just two young kids working their ass off, making money, and trying to do the best for their families.
That's really sad.
I knew one of them pretty close. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sorry for
it. Made it through COVID, then they get hit by some stupid idiot.
Well, I saw this documentary this week on Frontline, in which they go around the world during COVID and talk about people and what went on with them with COVID. And there's this one couple down in was it Brazil or Bogota, Colombia, I think. One place or the other. I think maybe it was Brazil. And they're talking about their kid, and they said, he has such promise, and he was so important to us. And this is Kenya. And the kid was so important. He had such promise. He was, he was musical, and he had a bright future ahead of him. And then he died. And you go, my God, COVID, what a horrible thing. No, he was shot by the police.
Yeah.
And you go,
I saw that.
to survive COVID and then to get shot by somebody it's just bizarre, So.
They have one show on Apple Plus called The Year Earth Changed. It's coming up, I think. So I think they're going to like places like India that had all that pollution, and then after COVID, when nobody was driving, it all cleared up, and they can actually see.
I think Richard Attenborough has a documentary about wildlife during COVID, and how wildlife has changed in that it's become bolder. It's come out. They've come out more. Because the streets are emptier. Yeah.
What was that on? Do you know?
It's on Apple Plus.
Oh, it is.
I think that may be the thing you're talking about.
Maybe, yeah.
But
India is like New York, is like Los Angeles right now. They can't find oxygen. People are dying in the street trying to get into the hospitals. Their hospitals have always been substandard, and it's a real shame, but it's coming to home.
Don't you know that's all a hoax? They're all just lying to us.
Yeah.
None of this is real.
No, it's
Okay,
I'm
Donald.
sure that's what Bill thinks.
I don't think so.
It was, as one preacher referred to it as, the scamdemic.
Yeah.
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 Did you see what Tucker Carlson said last night?
Oh, I never watched Tucker Carlson, but I can
I
only
didn't watch
imagine.
him either, but I saw clips of it. They were talking about it today on MSNBC. He said, and this is what he said. He goes, if you see on the streets anybody with wearing a mask in public, or if you have kids, somebody with kids, call the police on them for child abuse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for wearing a fucking mask.
Oh,
I mean, that guy will do anything for fucking ratings,
What were you talking to there, Schmoody? Was it
my cat?
Your cat?
I love the side text.
I'm surprised the cat isn't like there, because what happens is a lot of times when you're watching, Zoom calls and stuff on shows and so on, always a cat will come along, its tail going right in front of the screen like this.
So in the side text, my favorite fan here, 14-year-old Matt Crash, writes, "Who cares, Alan? That doesn't grant them a death warrant." Did I say that it was okay for them to kill them?
No, you didn't.
No,
you didn't.
Fucking idiot.
Matt Crash is imagining what you're saying.
Oh shit, he just hates me.
Yeah,
and that's okay. It's good to have a hater. 14. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. Maybe he's really only 7.
There are 560,000 so far dead from COVID, approximately, Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah, 573,000.
573,000 is more than
really,
I
ask
thought
Dr.
it was.
Doom. He's the statistician here.
We're going to hit 600,000 before this is over.
Oh, definitely.
But that means that I would imagine everybody knows somebody who died of coronavirus.
I know 2.
You know 2. How about anybody else here?
Early on.
Really? I don't know. I don't think I know anybody who has.
I don't know anybody.
I don't.
No.
No one.
There's a lot of people that don't. And that's how come they can believe it's a hoax.
Right.
Wait till their sister or father or mother dies from it. Then they'll realize it's not a hoax.
Well, my wife's best friend, her parents who still live in Russia, her mother came down with COVID, and her father-in-law, her stepfather came down with it, and he's in the hospital. Okay? So, I mean, it's just that you hear these stories. I mean, I feel very lucky and very fortunate, knock on wood, that we just played it really safe.
Absolutely.
We didn't leave this house for 6 months, something like that. And if we did,
we were lucky, the ones of us that could stay home and work from home or just stay home because we're retired or whatever. But the people that got hit hard were the people that had to go out and work. And that, unfortunately, is a lot of minorities.
Yeah.
Latinos and black families didn't have the money to sit around their ass. They had to go out and work and be in crowds, and they got hit hard.
Well, also, I'm lucky. I'm living for free, oddly enough, in a 2,500 square foot apartment. We could stay here and never get on each other's nerves. Okay, if we were downtown in my old 1-bedroom apartment, we'd be strangling each other. But I mean, we were very lucky that way, but we were very careful. And even today, when the president said, "Hey, you can go out now in public and you don't have to wear a mask if you're not getting with any big crowds or whatever."
Yeah, that's what the CDC
I went for a
today.
walk, and I was a little more liberal with my mask being down. But when I came towards people, I put it back up. And I noticed, what's really funny today? The president says, "Oh, you don't have to wear a mask." There were more people wearing masks today than I've seen before. So maybe it's like they should have done this from the beginning. Oh, don't wear masks, and everybody go, "Well, I'm going to wear a mask," But
I thought that was only if you've been vaccinated.
yeah, but you know what? You know what really? Well, the vaccination has changed everything. I mean, am I worried out there? Not really. But, you know, I'm not going to take any chances. Why? I've gotten this far. I'm still alive.
You know, we've gone over this. Being 95% means that 1 in 20 can still get COVID.
Yeah,
is my math right, Charlie?
Yep.
Yep. So you still got to be careful while it's still spreading out.
Well, I would just say to anybody who's been a doubter about it that, you know, come on. You know, the only way we're going to get past this is if everybody gets a shot. And I'm telling you, you're not going to catch anything from it, and it's not going to make you sterile, and it's not going to do it's
Sterile's a lot better than dying of COVID.
Sterile is better than dying of COVID, you know. But and I'm sure, you know, Kathleen, you kept your son very carefully out of the fray so that he wouldn't catch anything. Even though as a young person, he probably could survive it better than say you could, you know.
The first wave, yes.
Well, yeah.
The second wave is more transmissible to younger people.
But I mean, you're over 50, so you're not as you're a little more susceptible.
How old is your son, Kathleen?
And I was working at Costco, but I was working at their chill freeze location in Tracy. So we're in 38 degrees, and so when I got hired, I was part-time, but never ever did I ever work under 50 hours. And by the time COVID hit, it was 72 hours a week.
Really? Why was it 70? Why did it suddenly go up under COVID? Because you had less people
because
there?
Costco, the hoarders, remember all hell broke loose at Costco?
Yeah.
There were the shelving up above, all those racks were empty. I took pictures of that. It's unbelievable. Never seen it before.
I could never figure that one out. Why is it? And then
Why
it isn't
toilet paper?
No, it isn't just this particular pandemic. It's floods, it's any number of things. Whenever they happen, people go out and they buy paper products like crazy.
Well, you know, my son, because we were still living in Tracy, and he was kind of freaked out. And I said, you know, I bought like 8 months worth of food, but they're in these number 10 cans. This is in case, I mean, we live in earthquake country. And so my freezer was stocked. We were fine. And so Sean goes, well, what if we run out of water? I go, have you looked in the backyard? We have a big ass swimming pool.
Yeah, but it's got
it's constantly circulating water. Yeah, he was kind of freaking out.
But wait a minute, it's got chlorine in it, right?
And urine and dead flies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to drink water out of the pool.
No, but you know that was worst case scenario. He was overreacting.
Yeah.
I have, you know, I go to Costco and get 20 cases of water, and that way because I'm in earthquake country too, just for that reason.
Yep.
You know, I had a lot of masks when this first started because we're in forest fire area, and although the Bay Area doesn't get burned down very often, all the smoke loves to travel here. So you want to breathe. And so I had an N95 mask when COVID started.
Well, how much did Costco keep the toilet paper and paper products in stock, or could they just not get them? Was that the problem?
Well, I was in the wet depot, so everything I was dealing with, that we were dealing with in our building, was anything that needed to be frozen or refrigerated because we were running around in snowsuits. So we had all the meat and vegetables and stuff like that. And twice we ran out of meat, and that was absolutely unheard of. But the dry depot next door, we just felt sorry for them because it was a constant battle with water and toilet paper.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, no, it was hard to get meat.
There were people buying it so that they could sell it at a higher price to people when they couldn't get it at the store.
Was it that, or was it that
people were selling them on eBay?
How come those people aren't the people that get shot? You know?
Well, here's the thing, though. I would think that part of the reason why this kind of thing happens is that everybody says, oh, there's a run on toilet paper. So when they say that, there becomes a run on toilet paper.
That's right.
You know, or there's a run on.
Well, I better go buy some.
Walmart put out a statement and said most toilet paper is made, you know, is asked to be imported.
Yeah.
The toilet paper industry said that's bullshit. Most of it's made here in the United States.
But part of it had to do with, I mean, you wonder why Meat, for instance, had a problem. Y paper had a problem. And part of the problem is I think people got sick at the plants that produce this stuff. And so they didn't have the people to produce the stuff. That's the problem. You know.
Absolutely.
Now I notice that Costco very rarely runs out of toilet paper or Bounty paper towels.
No, you can get hand sanitizer by the gallon there. Tons of it.
Yeah. In the beginning, you couldn't get hand sanitizer to save your life.
I use it all the time before COVID. I ordered 3 gallons in January from Walmart. Had it delivered in 3 weeks, or a couple months later, you couldn't find it anywhere.
Wow.
So I was by kind of by default just lucky, you know. I had masks, I had toilet paper, I had the ability to stay home.
And I'm asking you all this, you know, because you know, again, we always talk about COVID here, but there's a reason. It's the one thing that affects all our lives universally. There's none of us who are getting away from this. You're not going, oh, COVID, that happens to somebody else. You know, no, it happens to everybody, and we're all involved in it in one way or another. I mean, the downside of COVID for me has been this fatigue I've been feeling. I'm always tired. Always tired. And it's because I haven't been out in a year. I mean, I go out now. I'm taking 2-mile walks every day to kind of try and get myself going again.
Yeah.
But even that kind of makes me a little woozy. But now that I don't have to wear the mask, it's a lot easier. But
how did you feel after today's walk?
I felt okay. You know, I was still lightheaded. You know, but you know, it's getting better.
He passed out twice.
Well, there's this medicine I take, and I think I then don't take it some days, and I think it has like a half-life with me, so that for several days afterwards, I still feel the effects of it, and so it's, you know, but you know, I think our lives are not going to be the same after all of this. You know,
I think you're right.
You know, I think it's pretty well changed forever. Yes, Jeff.
I think a lot of things that is going to change is a lot of people who used to work at a company, and now they've been working at home for so long that they're used to doing it.
Right.
And they don't want to come
And
back.
you know something? The companies are beginning to find that these people have been doing a fine job from home, so why should we pay for the office space anymore?
That's exactly.
You know, office space, parking, janitorial, toilet paper,
right,
heating, air conditioning.
And all that work is going to go away.
Yeah.
And your workers got to drive back and forth and take a risk of some guy that's running from the police. You know, I mean, that's horrible. That's just horrible.
Well, you know, I mean,
I don't know if you guys figure out how much gas you use in a car for a year, except for this last year. Bet you it's
not much this
tremendously
last year.
Well, I mean, Marjorie has been working from home, and she goes in now twice a week. And I keep saying to her, do you get much more done going in than you could get done here? And she says, oh, there are a few things I have to do there, that I've got the papers nearby and so on and so forth. And I said, yeah, but all that could be taken care of by moving those papers here. You know, I mean, why should her business pay $18,000 a month for office space, right, in Manhattan, when, quite frankly, she can do most of her work from home, and so can all the other guys at the office, you know? The only reason why I think some guys like to come into the office is so they don't have to get stuck at home, because they've been stuck at home for a year, you know, like Brian. Like, Brian, did you work from home a lot? Did you work from home a lot?
Don't tell anybody.
No, I went in from 6:30 till about noontime, and then I saw a break in my schedule, and I came home for the rest of my meetings. Just to be on a normal schedule to do something, because I know being here when they were homeschooled, it'd be tough. So, but now they went to school, started last Wednesday.
Yeah.
In-person school. So
how does Adrian like that? Because she's new to school, right?
Yeah, she loves it. Yeah, she's so excited, and yeah.
Because now she has friends she can talk with.
Tired of her at-home teachers.
Yeah, she sees her friends that she's been seeing online now, and that whole social thing. The other two are social or they're not social. They've already done that in their brain, but she's so open with everything still. So
yeah,
that's happy.
So let's change topics here for a second. Did any of you see the Oscars?
No.
I saw a little bit of it.
I saw 2 seconds of it and turned it off.
Well, you're all lucky. I watched it so I could talk about it. And then you people didn't watch it, so now I can't talk about it.
Can we go to a new subject?
Yes.
What a boring 3 hours and 15-minute exercise that was. I mean, it was disgusting.
At least you got a break to go take a shit,
You didn't have to.
Heard you talking to Phil.
Yeah, you didn't need to have a break to take a shit. You just took a shit and came back. The same guy was giving his acceptance speech. They let him go forever.
Wow.
When they did the memoriam,
Oh, yeah, they did it so fast, though.
Yeah.
Everybody, boom, 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 boom. I had to stop it and say, wait a minute, let me see who that person was that died.
Yeah.
Why were they going so
I'm
fast?
pissed off
because there's so many people
that they didn't do Dawn Wells from Gilligan's Island. She died last year.
Okay, now here's what got me. One of the things that got me, and I mentioned this to Phil, that got me was when they do them in memoriam, who do they save for last? Probably the most important
Chadwick
actor of the group. Okay, of the people who died last year. So that, if the year Elizabeth Taylor died, it was probably Elizabeth Taylor. And the year that, somebody else died, was them. So now you've got the two final people there were Sean Connery and Chadwick Boseman. Which one was more important?
Well, Connery's got the
Yeah.
biggest,
Who do you think was last? Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, yeah.
Never even heard of him.
Well, never heard of him. What? What? Do you live in a cocoon?
Well, he was only
somewhere?
like 41, so he.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but is that a reason to put him last? I mean, if you want to talk about career achievement and a big motion picture star and somebody who had an impact on the movie industry for over 40 years, it would be Sean Connery.
Yeah, but I think they were thinking that he might win the Oscar, so, you'd want to put him last.
Well, that was, I mentioned that with Phil, that where they really screwed up is usually Best Picture is the last category in the show.
Yeah.
And this year, Steven Soderbergh decided to make it third from the end. So you would then do, so they then did Best Actress and then Best Actor. And the reason they did that is they figured Chadwick Boseman would win, and then the wife would get up and give this big, cry in your eyes speech and all of that, and then they would end the show on this really dramatic moment. Instead, Anthony Hopkins won, and he didn't even show up.
He wasn't even there.
Not only did he not show up, he didn't even get near a satellite dish, so he could do his acceptance speech. They just had his 8x10 glossy up there, and they said, we'll accept on his behalf. Thank you, everybody. Good night. And it was like it ended like.
So I guess we believe the Oscars, they really don't know who wins.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the ultimate thing.
Yeah, but somehow, Steven Soderbergh, who wanted to make this work like a movie, figured if he changed that up and then Chadwick Boseman wins and we do this big ending and everybody's sobbing and crying and everything. But no, it was Anthony Hopkins who didn't even show up. Yeah. It was, and then who, excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
Did he always sneeze like that?
And you couldn't even see the movie. He was
Do I always sneeze like that, Kathleen?
Yes.
I've sneezed like that for how many years now?
Forever.
I've gotten a little better because Marjorie has always given me a bad time about it, so I try to be a little more verbose in my sneeze. But here I don't want to sneeze because I'm doing the show, so I hold it back.
I hate when something flies out and gets on the camera.
But anyway, so So I mean, it was just this horrible clusterfuck. And then they finished the show off. You know, usually you have some kind of host who goes, "Well, thank you for being here tonight." And it probably should have been Regina King who started off the show, but she didn't come back to say goodbye. All right, she
must live in a cave.
no. You know who said goodbye? What Questlove? You know who Questlove is?
Yeah.
The guy with the
Drummer for the Black Eyed Peas.
who wears the afro pick in his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He says, "Thanks for being here tonight," because he was the disc jockey running the music. I mean, it was horrible. It was just ghastly.
It's you know, movies are different now. You know, the movie business is so different now with streaming and everything.
Well, no, but it's different by virtue. Again, we go back to COVID.
Yeah, it's COVID.
You know, these are movies that would not have been seen. Well, these Netflix movies and so on would have been there, but they wouldn't have had the emphasis put on them that they've had put on them today, because there would have been more of an industry out there. I mean, so a lot of bigger films might have been released, but they're holding back on a lot of this stuff. You know, so it's weird. It's really weird. So the other question I wanted to ask you is, what kind of job, how good a job do you think Biden is doing? Or how bad a job do you think Biden is doing? What kind of job do you think Biden is doing so far? Because he has...
vaccines mandatory?
Making vaccines mandatory? I don't think he can do that. I don't think he can do. Maybe up in Canada, where you are, you know, you're all so condescending to everybody about everything. Oh, I'm sorry.
I like
okay. But down here, they wouldn't put up with that. You can't do that. You can't tell people they have to get a vaccine. You can't force them to take medicine.
Yeah, but did you hear what Virginia, the governor of Virginia said? "I'll give you $100 if you come and take."
Yeah, he wants to give $100 to everybody who gets a vaccine. And my feeling is, fuck you. You don't want the vaccine? Go ahead, die. Okay? You know, but why am I going to pay you $100 to take the goddamn vaccine?
Well, there's that private school in Florida that says that the owner of that place said that he won't hire teachers who get the vaccine. Or he'll fire
any teacher that's been vaccinated has to leave.
Yeah, no, anybody who's been vaccinated cannot work at his school.
She doesn't want anybody around the kids that's been vaccinated.
Been?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's reverse thinking, isn't it, Brian?
Yeah.
You know.
It's like too much Fox News.
But I was thinking about it the other day, and I feel Biden's doing a perfectly fine job. You know,
he's doing a great job.
He's trying to fix all the things that got broken by Trump. You know.
Yeah. And I don't think we're looking for somebody who's going to make a huge splash and waves and all the stuff, do the stuff that's important, the stuff that he's committing to. Vaccine is the number one thing right now to get everybody safe. And then he's got to move on to the next things, you know. But a lot of focus has to be to get everybody healthy again.
Plus, he's also handling some of the stuff from out of the United States. And he seems to be able to communicate with all kinds of people from China and whatever. And
he's not getting along too well
Trump
with
could never do anything.
He's not getting along too well with Russia, though.
No, but that's a choice.
Because he's not kissing Putin's ass.
Well, that's the point. You know, is not going to get along. You're not going to get along with Putin unless you kiss his ass. Okay? So, and that's not something Joe's willing to do. Joe's going, hey, you want to do things right? Play ball with us and we'll be fine. We'll all get along just fine. But we're not going to sit around putting up with crap like, you know, involving yourself in our elections and so on and so forth.
I like the fact that they knocked out, a dozen people who were Russian and said, out of the country.
Yeah, we threw them out of here. Yeah. So, Kathleen, how is it up in Gualala now? Do you find that you're still in the loop and you know everything that's going on, or do you find that day by day you're becoming a little remote from everything else because you're kind of living in the country, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the coast, but like if I want to see what's going on in Tracy, I just look on Tracy Rants and Raves. I can see what's going on, and most of my friends and acquaintances live in Tracy.
Did you sell the house in Tracy?
I own it. I rented it out.
Oh, you're renting it out. Oh, now you're a renter. Oh, that's got to be a delight.
Yeah.
Oh, the faucet's leaking.
I have a friend of mine, her and her 2 kids are in there, and so it's being very well taken care of.
Oh, okay.
That's the best.
Oh, all right. Because under normal conditions, every time the faucet starts leaking, you're the one they call. We got a leak.
They're basically moved into a brand new house. I had the whole thing redone.
Really?
Yeah, well, it's close to 30 years old.
You're right. I remember when you first bought that thing. Wasn't it brand new when you bought it?
No, it was built in 91. So when I bought it, it was 8 years old.
Okay. Yeah.
And I got it for nothing.
The last time I saw her physically, she hadn't even had a kid yet.
Yeah, because you moved in 03.
I moved in where? 03. Oh,
03, you moved to New York.
I moved to New York, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you had your kid when?
05, November.
05, see? And now she's got a teenage boy.
Yep, 15
now
and
that means something like I haven't seen her in a long time, or I'm getting fucking old.
Yep, by that.
Oh yeah, thank you, Alan. I appreciate it.
I'm catching up.
You're catching up, are you?
And only 20 more years, and I'll be your age if I survive that long.
Really? Oh, okay. All right. Gee, there's nothing really to bitch about right now.
Well, the Democrats are going to ban hamburgers.
What?
Oh, that's complete BS.
Oh, it is?
Come on, that was a bullshit
I heard it on
story.
Fox. I thought it was real.
Oh, they're going to ban hamburgers?
Yeah.
They were referencing a study that was done while Trump was president. It had nothing to do with Biden's proposal.
I think this is Tucker Carlson and his mind wandering again.
Yeah.
Well,
You're watching too much Fox lately, John.
Okay.
Well, I wish liberals were guilty of everything they say we're guilty of. But unfortunately, we're not that guilty of those things, and I would like to think we were, just to piss the Republicans off. I don't know. I go over to Fox and I watch them, and it's like I'm going into bizarro world. It's a whole different way of thinking and a mindset.
You wonder if they're on the same planet that you're on, right?
Well, it's like whenever I see a clip of Tucker Carlson, which, here's the problem. MSNBC loves to show clips of Tucker Carlson and then rail against him. And quite frankly, if I were running MSNBC, I would say you do not run clips of the competition. You just ignore them. Okay?
Yeah.
That way you disembowel them. But if you every day you're going up and saying, see what Tucker Carlson said last night, everybody goes, gee, Tucker Carlson must be important. Oh, Kitty. Oh, Kitty. Oh,
she's a good girl.
Oh, yeah. How old's that kitty? How old?
She'll be 9 in October.
Okay, because I didn't want to.
How long do cats live? I've never owned one.
About 20 years.
Yeah, because all my cats are strictly indoor.
If it's an indoor cat, I mean, if I had a cat that lived to be 19.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My parents' cat lived to be 17.
Yeah. So
you probably gave it some Jewish name or something.
Yeah. Dogs don't last as long.
No.
Dogs are good for what, about 12 years, 13 years?
That's how long ours lasted.
Yeah.
Bigger dogs die sooner than
Yeah.
smaller dogs for some
You
reason.
get a little Chihuahua, they'll last 20 years.
Well, here's what happens with cats that I've found, is that if they make it past 5 years, then they'll live long.
Yeah.
Okay, but they got to get past that 5-year point. There's something that happens at 5 where that could, cause
What
a
was your
problem.
cat's name that lived that long?
Shabbos.
Sure.
Oh, Shabbos.
A Jewish
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Shabbos. No. What was it? No, it was. Yeah, it was Shabbos. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Shabbos.
One of the
My
names
mind.
he used to
I'm.
use.
Yeah, it was Shabbos, and I had another one called Yontiv, and that was a female, and that means holiday.
You wonder why in the 80s and 90s Richmond, California had such a crime rate. It's because every time Phil went to a call, if somebody ran, he got back in the car and drank his coffee. He never chased anybody. I heard them say that, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? That's not the way most Richmond cops are, believe me. But
I lived in Richmond in 89, 90.
Really?
Chancellor Avenue.
Chandler Avenue.
Yeah.
Chandler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where that's at.
Yep.
Well, how long were you a cop?
Oh, me, I'm sorry. For 21 years, something
21
like that.
years.
Yeah.
22 years.
So you get a retirement now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a career cop. Yeah.
And that's fuck you money, because the real money he has is the money he inherited.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's why I got
You
to
don't
stay
consider
home and
21
gain weight.
years a career?
What'd you
No.
say, Charlie?
I can't really remember, Charlie. I got to tell you, my mind's going. Maybe it was 18 or 19. Fuck, I don't really remember. Could have been 5. I don't know. I can't remember back that far.
Yeah. Well,
It was between 10 and 20. We'll say that. That's a good number. I don't know.
By the way, do you think
I'll have an answer for you tomorrow?
I don't want to mention the name Trump, but I'm going to mention the name Trump. Do you think he has any cachet now? Or do you think he's kind of through?
Well, you still got a lot of people kissing his ass, so I
They
think
got people
he's
kissing
some.
his ass, but that's not the point. Does he have any cachet?
Here we go. The guy's going to poach here. He's coming in here like a fisherman to grab people.
Oh yeah, here he comes to beg and plead that all you people will stick around and call him.
Well, God, if he'd get on Zoom, I would.
But Irv, you've got to Jack. Well, it says Irv Jackson there, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. He's there. His audio is connected. Can you hear us?
Who?
There you go. Or
The man.
I got to tell you something. Zoom is the easiest thing in the world to use.
Well, I had my 16-year-old friend come by, and he said, "Golly, Mr. Bishop, I'd stay and show you how to use this thing, but I got to go home and wash my dad's car."
Yeah. How come we're not, it doesn't sound like we're hearing your mic. We're hearing the sound coming from somebody else.
Well, hold on. That's my fault. Let me plug up here. See, I plug. Talk amongst yourselves, as we used to say in high school.
I'll tell you, you slow the show down more than the guy from Norway.
Hey.
That's good.
As we say down here in Texas, fuck you and the horse you rode in on.
Hey, did you guys know Johnny Morris?
I knew Johnny Morris very well.
Who's Johnny Morris?
Johnny Morris was a jock at KDIA.
Oh yeah, I didn't know of the guy, but I knew some other people at KDIA.
Oh, who did you know at KDIA?
What's her
I didn't
name?
think you slummed that much.
No. There were a lot of people working.
That was good. That had a double Dutch bus and Sugar Hill Gang, all those songs that us whiteys couldn't hear, so we could turn into KDIA.
Well, there was a black woman. I'm trying to remember her name now. Then went on to become a newswoman.
Jeannie Blevins.
No. But I used to know some of the people over at KDIA back in the day.
KDIA was in black radio. There were two great companies to work for. Unfortunately, back when I was black, I didn't work at either one. I always wound up at Equal Opportunity Plantations. But there was a company called Sonderling, and they They owned KDIA in the Bay Area and WDIA in Memphis, which was the first radio station to be programmed to a black audience on a 24-hour basis.
By the way, I'm sorry, by the way, that I brought up radio, because now Jack will just do nothing but talk about radio.
I wanted to talk about cats.
No, Johnny Morse was one of my close friends in high school. I never knew that, but that's.
Oh, did you go to Poly?
No, I went to Sequoia.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you a name. I'll give you a name from those old days.
His daughter is in LA as a DJ, and we were close friends in school. So
I'll give you a name from the old days. Don Barksdale.
Oh, great guy. Great guy. He was at KDIA before it was KDIA.
What was it then?
I cannot remember the call.
Morse code? I mean,
hey, that's all.
No, the call letters didn't change to KDIA until sometime in the 50s. But I'll bring up a name there that you might remember, Alex, and that was George Oxford.
Jumpin' George Oxford. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a white guy.
He was a white guy.
Yeah, white guy in a black station.
Well, that's not unusual. I worked across the street, excuse me, at KSOL, and at one time, both of the drive time jocks, morning drive and afternoon drive, were white guys.
Huh. See?
Huh.
Michael Erickson was with, what was he with? KMEL or one of those.
Well, I'm sure.
And every time we heard him, we thought he was black, but he was white.
I'm sure we're losing listeners now. This is not.
Who was that guy that just died this weekend? There was a obit in the New York Times.
Bob Fass.
Yeah.
Bob Fass. Bob Fass was kind of a legend in New York. I mean, he worked on Pacifica Station here in New York, and did a show for 40 years, maybe something like that, maybe more, called Radio Unnameable, and he was special. He was special.
More special than Alex Bennett?
Well, I'd like to think Alex Bennett was the most special person ever to hit broadcasting, but that's just my opinion. Yes, okay. Jack.
Well, if we're going to talk about people that died in this weekend in broadcasting, we had perhaps the most famous legend of Dallas radio to die over the weekend, Ron Chapman, who, when he got out of music radio, he went to work for ABC, and for a short while, he replaced Paul Harvey with the rest of the story. He died this weekend at 85.
Really?
Wow.
And my wife, she worked at the same radio station that he worked at, owned by, owned by Westwood One. And didn't Mel Carmazon run that for a while?
Westwood One? I believe so.
Yeah. Well, she was in the business office.
No. He ran Infinity.
Infinity. I'm sorry. Yeah. It was Infinity.
But I don't like getting into radio stories. You love doing radio stories.
No, I don't.
You really do. You really do.
How long cats live. I had a cat named Rocky that lived for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, and this cat was so smart, he single-handedly trained 3 people in this house to turn the water on the way he wanted it turned on.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Do you want to know the smartest cat? The smartest cat I ever met was my ex-girlfriend's cat. And I had to babysit the cat because she and her mother went to Greece or something. So after I was through with my show, I would immediately go over to the East Bay and do my afternoon nap at their place. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jeff, don't die.
Yeah,
Jeff's just hocking up the lunch.
Check on him. Is Jeff still alive? He hasn't come back yet.
The time to set your mic to off.
Yeah. Anyway, no. The point was that what happened was, I would go over there to sleep, and one day her cat kept wanting, Siamese cat kept wanting to come into the room, and I would close the door and close the latch a little bit, not lock it, but And the cat knew how to open the damn goddamn door.
Wow.
And we just pull on the thing, and the door would open, and here would come the cat, right? So now I'm trying to sleep, all right? I'm trying to sleep. And as I'm trying to go to sleep, all of a sudden, her clock radio goes off. And I turn over, and I go, why'd that clock radio turn on? So I turn it off. And I go back to sleep again, and I'm lying there, and the clock goes off again. And I look over, and the cat is sitting on top of the radio. And I turn the radio off, and the cat sits there and moves his foot around till he finds the right spot and turns the radio on again.
Wow.
I finally had to, just chain the door closed. Yes, Jack.
Our cat Rocky, the one that lived 20 years,
Yeah.
he learned how to open doors,
Yeah?
how to turn on taps,
Yeah?
and how to turn on the electric blanket on our bed.
Really?
And Rock was a voyeur. Rock would figure out how to open the bedroom door whenever Donna and I were doing the headboard boogie.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had about 5 cats. And one time when I was having sex, and this woman was making some noise and so on, and all of a sudden I look up, and all the cats are lined up across the pillows watching us. And I imagine them also holding up little cards that went 9, 7, 4. Amazing. Cats love to watch people having sex. Quickly, tell them about your show, Jack.
Oh, yeah, let me get out of here. Do a show called The Intersection. We do it on Skype.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, shit. We do it on, you broke my thought. You broke it. We do it on Skype at GabNet Live, and we're going to one day, hopefully next week, be on Zoom for you Zoomers. It is, has Jeff survived?
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Because when Jeff drops in, the IQ of my panel goes up about 50%.
That's for real.
Wow. That
Yeah.
says a lot, Charlie, you know? Wow.
Okay.
You know, Jeff, are you okay? You
Oh,
were
yeah, I'm
coughing and hacking and
Yeah.
I'm just
Anyway,
dying
we got to
here.
say goodbye to Jack because he's got to go do his show. So
Yeah.
bye, Jack.
Bye,
See
Jack.
you on Zoom soon.
Good night, wherever you are.
You know, there can be a lot more people on Zoom too than on Skype.
Yeah. And also let us know what the address is so we can put it up on the website.
Yeah, I got to talk to you about that.
Yeah,
Figure out what
yeah.
address to use.
Anyway, thank you, Jack.
Good night, Mr. Bennett,
Good
wherever
night.
you are.
And by the way, I got to
Good
start
night,
playing
Jack.
the theme here because, you know, it's all over.
You know, you never forget that part when to turn the theme on.
Well,
I think you're just fine.
I'm really good at that.
You are.
But and by the way, you have a tattoo there, Schmoody. You got that since I knew you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks nice. Looks
Really?
nice. Brian, thank you.
Oh,
Appreciate it. Of course, Alan, thank you. Jack, oh boy, Jeff, thank you so much. Charlie, thank you. Kathleen, always a pleasure having you here. You know, what else have you got to do up there in Gualala but call us? Please keep it up. Same thing with
Thank
you,
you.
John Larkin, and always good to have Trucker Steve in the mix. Everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. Let me just unceremoniously hang up on them. Jack Bishop is next. He's here with the intersection, and he'll be taking your calls on Skype with the call letters Gabnet Live. Just type in Gabnet Live, and you will be able to talk to him. I'll be back again tomorrow night. We have a sports show at 8:30 called The Arena with the franchise MC, and then I'll be back again here at 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. And by the way, wear a mask out there. And if you don't want to wear a mask, then get the vaccination, right? Okay? See you again tomorrow. Have a nice night, everybody.